okay, and how's the week been, and how have you reflected on that result?
Week's been fine, yeah. Week's been good. We are disappointed we lost, but we're preparing to play St Kilda, and we've had a good preparation.
And what about the Saints, and you're going to go against them? What do you think of the way they shape up at the moment?
Look, they've been a very good first quarter, even first half team. Their pressure's been fantastic, and I think they're going in the right direction. Obviously, they beat us last year and had some good performances throughout the year, and particularly that first quarter against Collingwood 2 weeks ago was very impressive. So, up against a good team, we're looking forward to the contest.
We're yet to win a final quarter of the game. What's going wrong towards the end for you guys?
We're playing teams that are playing better in the final quarter. Yeah, we're confident our game will stand up when it counts.
What's the word on Chappie?
He's got a sore groin. He'll miss this week definitely, and potentially the week after. We're not sure. So he's he's got a groin and it should be all right within a week.
Kyle Langford, what can you tell us about him? Number one selection, wasn't he, for you guys last year?
He was. He's a terrific young player. Certainly, we're excited about him coming into the team. It's our first debutant of the year, so that's great. And I think all Essendon supporters will see a classy player who's wins the football for himself and knows how to use it.
Half forward role for him, more than likely.
Yeah, I'd say he'll start up forward for sure. Yeah.
James, just on those final quarters, you've said that fitness is no longer an excuse. Have you addressed it? Have you got any ideas on what might be going wrong?
I don't think anything's going wrong. We haven't played as well in our last quarters as we have in our first three. So yeah, we're not too worried about them. We're sure that we'll win a final quarter soon, and it'll happen.
And in terms of your scoring, clearly you haven't conceded many points, which is a big positive, but would you like to bump up your firepower up forward a bit more?
Yeah, we would. I think that when we've played in the dry, we've scored reasonably well. I think we've scored okay. We've played in two very wet conditions, and that obviously makes our stats look lower in attack. But we're keen to, and we've played good teams as well. So we're keen to score more. But there's a balance between defence and attack, and we've always been trying to teach defence, and we think we've got that right. Now we just need to score a little bit more, but some dry weather would certainly help.
So you're happy with the balance of your forward line and the output you're getting from your key position guys there?
Yeah, we are. I mean, when you play up at ANZ Stadium and it's pouring with rain, you play at the G, it's pouring with rain, you can't expect your big guys to be taking 6-7 marks inside 50 and kicking those goals. So they've battled hard and given us a contest, and we're hoping it under the roof at Etihad, it'll be conditions more suitable for taller forwards.
The Saints are obviously coming off a loss, but Dave, perhaps surprised a few people with the way they've started their season. Have you been surprised personally by the way they're going?
I don't know if surprised is the right word. We've been impressed by the way they're going, and I love the way they're playing their football with their pressure and their intensity, and that's the sort of football that wins you games of football. So we're keen to match them in that area and see what happens after that.
There's probably a lot of guys that you haven't coached before in that St Kilda lineup. Is it difficult in that sense to sort of prepare for a side with so many young guys that are, in a sense, unknowns?
Obviously, it's harder than when you're playing against a side that you know every player and 10-year players you're coaching against. So there is a little bit of the unknown there, but we're comfortable. We've done the work on their players, and we'll know what to expect.
That said, you've got to be reasonably pleased when you see their team sheet and there's no Nick Riewoldt on there.
Yeah, definitely. I think Riewoldt and Montagna not playing obviously doesn't help them, but the players who come in, and they're all quality players at AFL level. So we'll take them very seriously, and we're looking forward to the contest.
Tom Bellchambers has been quiet in recent weeks. Is his ankle still an issue at all?
No, his ankle's fine. I thought he was better against Collingwood than the week before, so I think his form's on the increase, but physically he's fine.
Coming off a match like the Anzac Day game, a bit of a finals type atmosphere, clearly a huge build-up for it. Coming into a team that you expected to beat, is there a challenge to get the boys up mentally to their peak readiness for this type of contest?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I think that 2-2, we know where our season is. We know that it's a game that if we want to be a potential finalist, that we'll have to play well in. I don't think there'll be any mental letdown after Anzac Day. Have an 8-day break, no excuses, and our boys are ready to play.
In a sense, there are a lot of the things that you did wrong on Anzac Day. They're not transferable until the next time you play in the wet.
Certainly overused the ball, and I don't think we played wet weather football. We tried to play dry weather football. But I think the state of mind you turn up to play in, you can guarantee that you can get that right. But football is still pretty basic, and we need to work on some things which we'll do today and get them right for St Kilda.
Fair bit of debate about where you guys sit in the pecking order at the moment, I guess, having had a couple of good performances and some not so good. What do you feel the team's capable of based on what you've seen so far?
Well, we'll wait and see, won't we? We'll get to the end of round 22 and we'll sit where we sit, and you know, that's what we're waiting for. We'll just perform every week, train hard, and front up every week to play the best we can, and our results will, I suppose, signify how good we are at the end of the season.
There's a lot of talk, James, obviously about equalisation and making the competition equal, but it does seem that from the first few rounds of the season, it's very hard to tip which way games are going to go. Do you think the competition's as even potentially as it's ever been?
It certainly seems even. You know, there's no, you know, I suppose Freo have done very well, but there've been tough games they've played in and won, and they've had big leads, and those leads have been reduced. So there's big momentum shifts in games. But I think as the season moves on and injuries and teams get tired, that you'll see the better teams probably stretch further than the weaker teams, and that's what generally happens. I think the first 6-7 rounds of the season, everyone looks fairly even, but then as the year goes on, the teams with great depth seem to pull away.
It's a significant day for football with Mick Malthouse breaking the all-time games coaching record. What are your reflections on Mick and the experiences you've had with and against him, and just how significant it is a day for footy?
Oh, Mick's obviously been a very good coach in the AFL and been very successful. So it's I think it's a day that he breaks the record.